What's going on, everybody? Thought I would do a little bit of a boil test for this Trangia alcohol stove, and I'd also like to compare it to this kind of pop can stove I made. So we're gonna just go ahead and do boil tests and see which one boils water fastest. Now, do want to say one thing. I did make a pot stand for the Trangia stove, and I just wanted to thank Hiram for telling me where to find this hardware wire, and also for all the helpful videos and conversation about how to make these. You guys definitely check out Hiram's channel if you guys are interested in any kind of alcohol stoves, or just any kind of stoves you take into the outdoors, camping, prepping, hiking, all that fun stuff. But he's just got some of the best boil tests, just extensive videos. I'll put a link to both of his channels in the description. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get the boiling test going. I'm going to use the GSI Soloist pot, and basically I'm going to put 2 cups of water into the pot, cold water, tap water, for both stoves that we test. And then put the lid on, and let me put some alcohol in the stove. As far as how much alcohol, I'm going to use this is just a little Zippo measuring cup. I've got it on the fill line of I'm using denatured alcohol. Just go ahead and fill this up, and I'll use the same amount for both stoves. That's one. I'll probably do another one. I'm going to put 2 of these in each time. Bear with me for a second. Alright, that's another one. I don't anticipate to run out of fuel during the boil test, but just in case I do, kind of want a baseline for how much fuel I put in. I don't even know how much this measures out, but at least I can put the same amount into both stoves. Alright, so let me go ahead and light this, and we'll get it going. Show you guys, it is lighting. It is lit. Just turn off the lights for a second. So, okay. Go ahead and throw actually, you know what? I better start the timer before I put the pot on real quick. Give me a second. Alright, we got the stopwatch here, and as soon as I put the pot on, I'll go ahead and start it. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start. Got the Trangia. See how long it takes to boil 2 cups of water, and I'll bring you guys back when the water's boiling. And I'm going to turn the lights back on. I'm going to just I don't have a thermometer, so I'm just going to go by when I get a rolling boil, as soon as I hear that rolling boil. So I'll see you guys back in just a minute. Alright, so we're almost to 5 minutes, and it's just about ready to boil. I see bubbles in the water, but it's not a rolling boil yet. So we'll give it just a little bit more time, and we'll see what happens. And we have a rolling boil now. You can see the bubbles in there. So that was about 520, give or take a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out, and I'm gonna go ahead and dump this water out, cool the pan, and I'll bring you guys back with the homemade pop can stove, and we'll do a boil test on this. Alright, so I've got, pot is cooled. I went ahead and ran cold water over it. It's cold to touch, not warm at all. Just so you guys know that. Let me go ahead and get this stove going. Let me just pour some, again, I'm using the same fuel, denatured alcohol. We got one of the Zippo fuel filler. We pour it in here. Gonna do one more. You guys can see that. Now before I do the test, I do want to mention, I think that the Trangia stove is going to burn much faster. Reason why is because the way this stove right here is designed is the burners are, the pot sits directly on top of the can, and it kind of pressurizes the flames coming out of the sides. But if you look at the burners on this, they're only like maybe ½ an inch from where the pot's going to sit, maybe even closer to ½ inch, so it's not going to be a lot of space for the flames to come up. So I anticipate that the Trangia is going to burn faster, because when it's sitting on a pot stand, it's sitting like an inch above the actual burners on the Trangia. But we'll see what happens. So let me get that started to light real quick. Find my fire making mechanism here. Well, let's get that going. And I'm going to pour the cold water. We got 2 cups of water into the same pot. GSI Soloist pot. It's cold to touch. And we turn the lights off so we can see when this is ready. Get my timer ready. This one takes a little bit longer to kind of prime and get the flames going. It's almost there. Still waiting on them. They want to go. And they're just about going. Now it's about ready to throw the... Now it's ready. Well, let me put the top on the pot. And start the timer. And we'll go ahead and start. Might have been a couple seconds late, but we can always adjust later. So I'll go ahead and bring you guys back as soon as this pot's boiling. So stay tuned. Alright, so we're at 5:46 now, and there's still no rolling boil. Just going to wait probably another minute or two, and it should get to a boil. But I also did want to say there are some differences between the stoves. The little homemade aluminum can stove I'm using, obviously this is sitting on top of the stove. It's not sitting on a pot stand. And the reason for that is with this stove, if I put it on a pot stand and not directly on top of the stove, the flames they rise way too high. And when I put a pot sitting above it, it's almost like the alcohol just kind of evaporates up, and then the flames get all the way to the top of the pot. So that's why I'm doing it that way. We're almost to a boil here. But I know some people are going to ask and say that the test is not fair. But well, if I can, I'll stick it on top of this and kind of show you what I'm talking about as soon as it's boiling. But we do have a rolling boil. 650. See the boiling in there. So what I was basically saying, let me turn off the... See, I just turned off the lights here. Let's say I put the pot stand in, and it just seems like the flames rise just way too high when I burn like this, and the fuel burns really, really fast. Like, it's kind of hard to tell, but the flame's coming all the way up to the top of the pot right here, all the way around the pot. And you can also see the hardware cloth is already turning red because of the heat. So that's why I did the test that way. Let me go ahead and put out this right here. Don't try that at home. But overall impressions, Trangia definitely burns faster the way that I had it set up. With a pot stand, let me turn the lights back on. With a pot stand, definitely like this burner a lot. Really not a fair comparison, but this was the first pop can stove I made, so it was just kind of a fun comparison to try out. So I hope that might have been helpful to someone. Once again, thanks to Jimmy Q33 and G Ulrika for for letting me borrow this burner. I've already ordered a Trangia for myself. I like it so much. And I definitely recommend you guys look at getting one of the Trangia Spirit alcohol stoves. I mean, for 15-20 bucks right now on Amazon.com, you really can't beat it. The thing looks bulletproof too. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later.